First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Smiling, making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of black talk radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is First Things First. And my first thing, pray it's your first thing, giving thanks, giving praise, and asking for blessing from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Let's go. We do have a lot to talk about. The way we do this show on a Wednesday. It is Wednesday, right? Still getting back in the time zone, y'all. On a Wednesday, the way we do things, a wealth building Wednesday is what we call it. Hour 1, we look local, left coast. Hour 2, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive on a hot topic and a person of interest or a combination thereof. Beginning of the second hour, we always check in with a business, an enterprise, Black-owned, BIPOC-owned, small business, socially innovative enterprise, something of the sort, to try to elevate our business game. And we'll do that today as well. Looking forward to talking with with Cameron and Craig Hart. And then in hour 3, we'll be talking with Dr. Tavari Brown, who's a psychologist, help deal with a couple of issues that I am very interested in, including the impact of this ICE terror on kids and community, and also the what we might be looking out for in ourselves, our community, and our music landscape around in the aftermath of the Diddy verdict. A lot to unpack today. And of course, you're always invited in, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. We are welcoming back to the studio somebody who's been kind of a regular around here since day one, 4 years really. He has led a bunch of different initiatives. He's helped register thousands of justice-involved voters, works with numerous coalition organizations on a mission, a collective mission to reduce homelessness, gun violence. He is the Director of Operations for Los Angeles for Urban Alchemy.
Yes.
Tim Kornegay, welcome back.
Thank you for having me back. Good morning, Dominique. Good morning, KBLA listeners. Hope everybody's doing well, staying blessed, ready to have this conversation this morning.
Yeah, great to see you. And it's just so much going on. I feel like I don't even know where to start. So let's start with you. You made a move. You're at Urban Alchemy now.
Yeah.
I've been reading about the organization over the years. Tell us what you're doing there.
For me, it's a natural progression, because from my beginning, it's been about reentry. It's been empowering individuals who are coming home, putting them in position to be able to be impactful, give back, and do things for the community. So when I first returned from my left-hand turn only journey, the organization I found myself placed with, Reverend Zach Hoover, like threw me in the deep end, gave me a budget and said, hey, help me pass this initiative. And myself and about 37 other individuals who were recently released helped pass JJJ and HHH, Prop 55, 56, and 57. So from that point on, it was Measure H, it was Prop 5, Prop 17, did the voter registration and engagement for ABREP for Gavin Newsom and Javier Becerra, the now Assembly member Tina McKinnon and myself did thousands of voter engagement and registered new voters for LA Free to Vote. And it's always been the kind of folks I dealt with. It needs to be somebody who has had challenges, just needs to be in place to show, that they're able to do amazing things. So it was natural for my purpose to put me in an organization that has over 1,300 employees nationally, and over 95% of them are folks who are of the left-hand turn only fraternity. So I'm right where I need to be.
That's another justice impact, another word for justice impact.
I'm always coming up with something.
I can't keep up with all y'all.
I gotta come up with, because
I don't know what people if people understand what we're talking about. Yeah.
Well, when folks are incarcerated, there's this control mechanism that they have, and most of the institutions, you can only make left-hand turns. So if you're walking most of the places that you walk, if you're not turning left, they'll tell you, hey, you're going the wrong way. That's the wrong direction. Psychologically, it's a thing of control, but it's something that, that gets built in. So in my mind, I just refer to us now as a left-hand turn only society, because as soon as you say justice impacted, as soon as you say returning citizens, as soon as you use all those terms that folks use, it's automatic. Oh, you just came home from somewhere. But if you give folks something that they've never heard before while you were engaging, then you get to explain. It's like, oh, that's what that means. So it gives you the opportunity to present yourself differently, and it gives folks the opportunity to think about how those structures impact individuals who are put in those situations.
Right. So for those not familiar, Urban Alchemy is like a huge gang intervention kind of organization.
Yeah,
right?
It's impactful on multiple levels. The first level, where it's amazing, is it creates career opportunities for folks who are coming home. You have your ARC and you have your Homeboy, who do excellent for
ARC
workforce.
is Anti-Recidivism Coalition.
Yeah.
Homeboy Industries, of course, under Father Boyle, the gang intervention. I mean, those are two.
They do
of many.
amazing work.
I mean, there's lots of organizations.
Yeah, that do amazing work, and it's workforce development. It's getting individuals ready for the warm handoff to be able to put themselves in a job or in a career position. But what's different about Urban Alchemy is the folks who are brought into Urban Alchemy get the training, get the workforce development in-house, and then get employed in-house. And they get employed doing engagement with folks who are experiencing homelessness. So it's a component of public safety. It's also a component of re-entry, because it's like one of the biggest organizations in the country that employs justice impacted folks. You have folks who are formerly in the streets, trying to harm each other, who are formerly in those institutions trying to harm each other, who are now working together and are really being impactful.
Yeah. I'm sure because you work with the organization now, that, people have raised concerns about it being so sort of corporate and big, and not necessarily like adaptable to whatever community they might go into, more of sort of like a franchise.
Yes.
Than an organic grassroots community-based organization.
The way that it's organic is the number of justice system impacted folks around the country is 70 million. So when you can create an opportunity for those folks in other areas, and it's really taking a culture of change, a culture of transformation, taking it to another city, another state, and saying, here, let us create an opportunity for your folks that up until this point, you haven't been successful in finding placement for them, whether it's people experiencing homelessness or those of us who are coming home. It's just like, hey, get out, be successful, try not to go back. But this is literally
Try not to go.
Yeah, this is,
Be good.
Exactly. So
Don't
this
do anything
is
I wouldn't do.
putting folks,
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
Yeah.
And 70 million is a lot of people. I have never
think?
seen those numbers.
Yes.
I've never seen any data around that, surprisingly enough. But yeah, there's a sort of I guess, there's been some controversy, I guess, around that.
Which is to be expected, and the reason why it's expected is because the level of effectiveness shouldn't be perceptually contributed to the group that's responsible for giving birth to the organization. And it's a thought process like, and we're being othered, how can those people, where'd they come from? How did they do that? The reason why it's done and the matter that it's done, that these are folks that have passion, they have purpose, and they have the ability to make things happen, but never got the opportunity to do it in this manner. So now that this opportunity exists, it's like, wow, now I can invest my gifts in like building something and creating a path for folks who are coming home to look forward to. Like they can come home wherever state that we're in now, you can look forward to being able to be employed and not have to figure it out, and maybe find yourself in it's fearful after you've done an enormous amount of time. It's scary. I ain't gonna cuss, but it's scary.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I've never experienced that.
50 cents in a bus ticket.
You did a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like over 20 years, right?
Yeah, 22 years.
Wow.
And the second iteration of it. I didn't figure it out the first time.
Okay, so
you some anger issues the first time.
So you went through the left turn only society twice. As an adult. As a grown person.
Yeah.
Why'd you figure it out the second time?
There's a point when you're in there that you realize I'm ready to be free. I don't, this right here, I'm really not feeling this, but because, of how things fall, it's like, oh, well, you might be ready, but we aren't ready for you to be free. You owe us a little more. And in that continuing to pay the debt to society, the realization came that I can't be the same person when I get free that I was when I came in here, because the influence and the impact I've been having has been destructive to my community. And you don't know it, but you're trying to help people, but in the interior of the help is harm. So if I'm teaching you showing you how to support yourself, but in doing that, you can get hurt, others may get hurt, you're destroying your community, and you're really not doing a good thing. So there's the beautiful lie you tell yourself, I'm building a community, when in fact you're destroying it. It's just like, I don't want to be that person. So I have to change, and I have to change. I can't wait till I get out to change. I have to change in here. So my last 12 years was really spent in transformation, figuring out who I wanted to be when I got free.
Well, it's great to see you. And we're going to unpack some of the things that are going on around here. I can't wait to get your perspective on some of the 12 kinds of crazy and 22 kinds of resistance that are popping up everywhere we go.
Okay. My responses will be colorful, but I promise I'll try not to cuss.
Yeah, colorful without cussing. Go right up to the edge.
Yeah,
right up to the edge. 800-920-1580 if you want to engage. We love to have you in the conversation always. You can also jump in YouTube. I see the chat is alive and well in the comments at KBLA 1580 on YouTube. Ken Vanderbilt says, welcome back, Dominique. I was worried that the orange narcissist travel restrictions might not let you back in the country. Glad to see you, Miles. You and Miles made it back safely. We did, and to be honest with you, I took a lot of things off my phone just in case. I figure if Christine Amanpour from CNN has to get a burner phone to come back in the country, I might as well be on the safe side as well.
Wow. But
it wasn't necessary. It was smooth. It was one of those blue passport moments. No troubles, no worries. So here I am.
Well, we needed you back.
Thank you for that. We'll continue the conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hi, I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., inviting you to join me weekdays at 12 noon, right after Tavis Smiley, here on KBLA Talk 1580. As a law school graduate and a theologian with a firm grasp of our body politic given almost 2 decades in Congress, my show is the fresh new home of an authentic, uncompromised quest for transformation and salvation, both personal and collectively, as I vigorously interrogate the theological and symbolic meanings embedded in our society. I promise to leverage my knowledge of history, theology, and both international and domestic issues to imagine an inclusive vision for the future, which I hope will inspire all of us to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as a given, not just an aspiration. So join me weekdays at 12 noon right after Tavis Smiley for 2 hours of the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show only on KBLA Talk 1580.
No one wants to leave behind stress for their family. That's why a trust or a will is so important. Without one, your assets might go to the wrong people or leave out loved ones. Also, probate is long, expensive, and often avoidable with a revocable trust. Trustandwill.com makes it simple to create a personalized estate plan. A trust or will provides clarity and peace of mind. Get 20% off on your estate plan documents by visiting trustandwill.com/radio.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now, there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location. Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC.
Their ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now we're back to Dominique DiPrima and Tim Kornegay. So our city is Los Angeles, of course, I'm referring to because we're broadcasting from Leimert Park, Los Angeles. You're a lifetime Angelino, a born and raised kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually currently occupied by the National Guard, Homeland Security, and Immigration Customs Enforcement. It's really weird. I mean, it's not just a theory anymore. They're walking around with automatic weapons, military vehicles.
Yeah, it's unreal. If this is the kind of stuff that script writers develop, it's unbelievable and it's entertaining. And it captures folks' focus because it's so unbelievable. It seems dreamlike to see this level of military vehicles and armed military folks walking around in the city and there's nothing going on. This ain't 1992. And in 1992, they didn't have live rounds. And it was just about presence. It wasn't about enforcement and occupation. This is literally a military occupation where folks can get hurt. The wrong thing can be said. The wrong thing can happen. And something very unrealistic and unbelievable can take place. And the stage is set for that.
What do you mean? What kind of thing?
So you have a military force.
Yeah.
and a police force.
Yeah,
that
a couple
are
of police
actually-
forces, right? We
yeah.
got the sheriff, we got the LAPD, we got all these local small police
yeah.
agencies, Culver City, Bell, etc.
Now there has to be folks inside those local forces who resent the fact that they're being pressed by outside agency.
Yeah.
You have folks who are protesting who resent the fact that all these local forces aren't protecting them from these military occupiers. So at any time, somebody can make a bad decision. Somebody could move too fast. Somebody, if a shot is fired and nobody knows where it comes from, then there's a possibility it could trigger something. That's my fear, that innocent people can
It will
get hurt.
trigger something.
Yeah, or
because people are already stressed out. It's not normal.
Yeah.
This is not normal. I don't care what, we can cite precedent, this, precedent, that. It is not normal.
Here's the thing. It's not normal for us.
Right.
But Los Angeles, welcome to the real world. This is what happens in other places. This is what other folks have been dealing with.
That's their real world.
Forever.
I'm not accepting that. That's not
that's
my
their
real world. I didn't sign up for this stuff.
For this, to the edge.
Right.
Get to the edge.
Get to the edge. Don't go further.
So we are being invited into a reality that hasn't been ours. Our comfort zones have been eliminated, and folks have started to look at their driver's license, birth certificates, and paperwork could this be me, or could I be found not having ID in the middle of one of these checkpoints and find myself on the airplane somewhere trying to figure out how to get back?
People with ID have found themselves there.
Exactly.
So that's the thing. I think Dr. Melina Abdullah made the best point, which is everyone's saying know your rights, but those rights don't seem to apply right now. This is your theoretical rights, and then there's the reality of where we are right now.
And the reality is the red card and the know your rights are basically irrelevant because they've walked over the Constitution. They're not supposed to be here, period.
Right.
So what gives us the illusion that when they come to the door and you ask, well, I need to see a search warrant, they're going to be like, my warrant is the individual in Washington that says we could do whatever
and my face
we
is
want.
covered, and I won't even tell you what agency I'm from or where you're going. Now, I don't want to be fear-mongering because I feel like we need to stand strong, and fear is the mind killer, as they say in the book Dune. I feel like we can't succumb to fear, but we also have to be realistic that having, I know my rights is not going to cut it if no one's respecting those rights.
Well, you have it's a Miranda right and a survival right. You have the right to remain silent, and you have the right to be prepared and avoid those situations. Being confrontational is only a choice now, and the choice could lead to you finding yourself in a situation that
in South Sudan, in El Salvador, in an ICE detention center.
How do you get
Alligator Alcatraz?
Yeah, come on now. What the?
I mean, but you've been inside of detention.
Yeah.
And how is this different?
It's not. Because once
you had a lawyer, right?
Yeah, but once you're in custody, then you're subjected to the system, and the system operates in the manner that it operates. It's structured to function in favor of the system. And this term that we call due process, you have to earn it through a court process. But you have to be in handcuffs and go through it and actually to ask for it. So if you get arrested, if you get detained, what we used to call illegally 6 months ago, you have to go through a process that may take 90 days, 120 days, 6 months, a year for a judge somewhere to say, oh, you've been denied your due process, so they should let you go. But where are you going to be when they let you go? Are you going to be in this country? Are you going to be in Guantanamo Bay? Are you going to be in South Sudan? Is Alcatraz going to be decommissioned as a historical monument and refurbished? Are you going to be in Alcatraz?
And at that point, do you have a job? Does your family know where you are? What's happened to your life in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12 months? that you have not been able to maintain your
6
routine.
months for, I mean, with the way jobs go and the no
You have a
call,
house,
no
you have
show
a
and the
car,
abandonment.
yeah.
If you don't call, if you're unable to call into your job for 3 or 4 days, California, you're not going to have a job.
Lovely. We're going to talk about, I just don't, this is a reality. This is where we are now. It's not where we're always going to be. I said it yesterday, and I'm going to keep saying it. The power that prevails right now is the power of the people. We've got news, traffic, and sports.
I agree 100%.
When we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Pompano Beach, Florida is honoring native and rapper Kodak Black with a key to the city. Mayor Rex Harden praised Kodak for giving back, donating air conditioning units, holiday turkeys, and paying rent for hundreds of families.
Your actions speak volumes about the kind of man you have become. You've shown us that giving back isn't about fanfare. It's about your heart.
Kodak says he's humbled by the honor. Crime Stoppers is offering a $10,000 reward after a deadly drive-by shooting outside Artist Lounge in Chicago's River North. 4 were killed and 14 wounded as crowds left rapper Mellow Bucks' album release party. Police say it was a targeted attack. And Black former Dallas Cowboys tight end and civil rights advocate Pettis Norman has died at 86. Norman played 12 NFL seasons and served in the Texas National Guard. He later founded a group connecting CEOs with minority-owned businesses. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Rapid radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code radio for an extra 5% off.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A rough night for both of LA's baseball teams. The Dodgers lost their 5th straight game. They went down 3-1 at Milwaukee. Milwaukee rookie pitcher Jacob Mizorowski had 12 strikeouts in 6 innings. The Angels were routed at home 13-1 by Texas. The Lakers introduced new center DeAndre Ayton Tuesday at a press conference. Ayton, the number 1 pick in the 2018 NBA draft, signed with the Lakers 2 weeks ago as a free agent. The 26-year-old Ayton has career averages of 16.4 points, 10.5 rebounds, and a 59% shooting percentage. The men's basketball teams at Hampton and North Carolina A&T were selected to play in the 2026 NBA HBCU Classic during All-Star Weekend. The NBA All-Star Game is February 15th at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Catch Prep is now enrolling for summer credit recovery in fall 2025. As South Los Angeles' top-performing high school in English, math, and college access, Catch Prep is welcoming all 9th through 12th graders to enroll now. Catch Prep offers a small, supportive, and safe learning environment to help all students succeed, so that all students feel valued, respected, and motivated to reach their full potential. For the past 20 years, Catch Prep has helped more students of color gain admission to top-tier universities, with our graduating seniors earning a total of $3 million in scholarships, more than any other school in Los Angeles. We are dedicated to helping all students turn your college dreams into reality. Catch Prep is now enrolling. Visit us online at catchhighschool.com or call 323-293-3917. Spaces limited. Please enroll now for summer credit recovery and fall 2025. Call 323-293-3917 or enroll today at catchhighschool.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Tim Kornegay is with me. Where do we find you now? You got all new socials and all new mission here with Urban Alchemy.
So Urban Alchemy is Tim, and my last name, one word, Kornegay, at Urban Alchemy. It's urban-alchemy.us.
Okay. And so that means urban.alchemy. Urban-alchemy is the
and
website.
Then it's .us. That's my email. Right. And the website is urban-alchemy.us.
Okay.
Yeah. Check us out.
Absolutely. So according to the LAPD, today's paper, LA Times, homicides dropped more than 20% in the first half of this year. And that means that by the end of the year, we could be looking at the lowest homicide rate in 60 years. There is still some kinds of violent crimes going on in the city, but we're talking body bags, lives lost. We've only had 116 through June 28th. That sounds like a lot of people, but if you think about the Wild West 90s, we were consistently in the thousands.
Exactly. So these are amazing numbers. And these numbers should be rightfully attributed to the small CBOs, the small CVI organizations that are actually having these hard conversations with individuals in the community. Although you see these press conferences with folks taking credit for these decreases, newsflash, the police have never really prevented anything. They're no offense to folks who have people who are in law enforcement. They're basically just glorified and high-paid janitors. They come clean up after the damage has been done. But there are folks who are risking their lives, who are not paid as much, who do not have bulletproof vests and guns, having conversations with folks that do, saying, hey, this is not how we want to live. It's time for us to realize that every life lost has value, that we've been destroying our community and ourselves for so many years, and it's time for change. And a lot of times there are individuals that push back and be like, yeah, I'm not trying to hear that. And there are those of us that are in that space that continue to push and continue to talk. And like, long as you listen to me and watch me, you will see that this is a better way, that we deserve better than to be our own worst enemy.
Yeah, that's the story we need to keep telling, that the intervention, the community-based organizations, the formerly incarcerated, former left turn only, those that have been involved in neighborhood hoodsters, whatever you want to call it, that those folks have had a huge role in bringing peace to Los Angeles. And the model that was created, which I watched emerge, was blessed to be part of it, which was really spearheaded by the gang intervention prevention people in conjunction with then Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa, then Council Member Martin Ludlow, the California Endowment, where they started to bring law enforcement in along with community stakeholders, along with CBOs, along with city departments, in cooperation to create peace in neighborhoods and create resources. That's something that others have duplicated, some successfully, not
across the country,
some not so successfully. But we take it for granted now. But when I first came to LA, I remember we were working with Unity One and some of the other organizations of Mayor I Can and stuff when I worked at the Beat.
Yeah.
And I tried to get law enforcement to come and sit in on some of those meetings, and they laughed at me. They did not want to hear it. So the reason I bring that up is not to disparage them as much as to say we've really come a long way in terms of the way we deal with violence in the city.
A very long way, and it's a level of communication that's necessary with law enforcement. It's really about having a professional understanding, and the understanding is we have a job to do, you have a job to do. At times they may intersect or go parallel, but I'm not trying to do your job.
Right. Intervention workers are not cops.
Yeah, at
Cops
all.
are not intervention workers. And, I know that the interaction is still fairly minimal. That's fine. I'm not saying it should be more. I'm just saying the attitudes have changed a lot.
Exactly.
And I do want to credit this mayor, because one of the first things she did when she got in office was raise the salary of intervention workers significantly, demonstrating a commitment to that work.
Yeah, and she did some things before she left Washington that has helped the intervention community. The thing about it is developing the level of respect that's necessary, and law enforcement, government agencies not just seeing it as former members being influential on current members. What it's about is folks have grown up and realized that the destruction has to stop, that is willing to do the leadership development, that's willing to do the training, that's willing to understand how to be good leaders so we can lead our people in a new direction.
Yeah.
And they have to respect that.
I think new direction is key. And honestly, I just want to keep pressing on this, because people got 57,000 ways to criticize the mayor on some BS.
Yeah.
60-year low in homicides is great news for the city of Los Angeles, despite all of the fear-mongering in the state of California that led to the passage of Prop 36, led to the election of the guy in the White House and the new DA, who's very old school. Despite all of that, this mayor has led us to a 60-year low, and she's demonstrated commitment to gang intervention. And when I saw that stuff coming together, when I ran the Summer of Success on the ground for Councilmember Ledlow, then Councilmember, that was, 2003?
Yeah, that's a long
in the jungles.
Yeah.
That became the model for Summer Night Lights. Karen Bass was one of the leaders of that. She is the one who tapped me to do that. She said, Dominique, can you run this on the ground? I had to set up, outdoor boxing and midnight basketball and food and free movies and all the things that people needed.
That's the key. Engagement, giving our folks the option and something to do, and showing them what community looks like, a return to community, because we lost our connection to what community looks like. Unfortunately, if you was born after 1969, you haven't the slightest idea what black love looks like.
I don't agree with that.
You don't know what it's like to have
I don't agree with that.
1,000 black people in one space and there not be an incident.
What are you talking about? Walk Good LA does it every day, every week.
When did Walk Good LA start?
2020.
I'm saying.
But you said anyone born after 1969, those are millennials. And
we
and
talking
Gen
about
Z and
now,
Gen A, they're doing a lot of moving together. We just don't give them credit.
We're talking about a culture where folks think that they have to behave a particular way when there are large groups around, and we want to eliminate that and let everybody know that we can gather together in large numbers and enjoy each other and have fun without incidents.
Yeah.
And the way we do that is community and communication.
I agree with all of that, but Tim, we had large groups gathering together and had problems back in the day sometimes, and we have them sometimes now. I don't think it's fair to condemn a whole generation. Just because some fools act up in large spaces.
I'm not condemning the generation. What I'm doing is highlighting the fact that small numbers of us can cause major problems if we aren't communicating with each other. And it's about creating those options for folks to let them know I am not your enemy.
I get you, but actually it wasn't a whole generation. It was 3 generations that you condemned.
I was around in 69. I was around in the 70s. I was somewhere in the 80s.
It was millennials, Gen Z, and Gen A all went down in the after 1969 analysis.
But
Okay.
The folks who were responsible for the chaos don't consider themselves to be Gen A, Gen Z, the pep, none of that.
I'm just saying, so then it doesn't have to do with whether you were born after 1969.
Apolitical.
It has to do with your mindset. Yeah. Are you an op?
Look at that.
Is that your job to disrupt? Are you an agent provocateur?
I just like how you making my point for me. Thank you.
Okay. We, in other words, we agree to disagree on that.
No, we agreeing to agree.
Oh, we agree to agree?
Yep.
I don't agree that if you were born after 1969, you haven't experienced black love. I don't agree with that.
Trust me.
I do trust you, but I don't agree with you.
Let's agree to disagree on that, because that's how I feel.
Selena says, I get what he's saying.
Yeah.
And Truth Speaks says the people responsible for those numbers. The people are responsible for those numbers, not Karen. I think both are responsible. Coming out the gate day one, giving intervention workers a raise, and having a history going back to more than 20 years of supporting these movements and helping build infrastructure for these movements is key.
That amazing impact is being lost in all this chaos and confusion that's taking place.
Yeah, I do want to say, Carl Tucker says, Dominique, I'm not understanding. Are you and your guests saying don't go out to a protest or protect yourself?
Not at all.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not at all. No, that's definitely not what I'm saying. I'm saying if that's your how you engage like that. But be in community when you do it. Have an understanding of where you are and how to keep yourself safe and get your point across, your message across at the same time.
Yeah, and understand your level of commitment. What are you setting out to do? I mean, I was talking about coming back across the border from Africa and being mindful of what's on my phone and what's, in my bag, and turning off your phone before you cross any border is suggested. I wasn't saying don't go to a protest. I'm going to be going to protests like I always go to protests. Yeah. That's why I have to watch out for what's on my phone. And I think we need to go to protests more than ever, to be honest with you, and do other things too. Vote, engage in community organizations.
Yeah, so
show some black love.
Exactly. My black love experience is this weekend. This weekend there was a free concert at Darby Park. Amazing, full of black love, full of black people. But I can go from that to a community baseball game with not as many people, but it's a large number of people, and you have to be mindful to communicate with folks. So you know what I mean. And those two groups don't function together. It's two different cultures. It's two different understandings. And the cultural divide needs to be eliminated because we're all one folks. And we should be able to function together safely with some black love.
All one culture. Yeah, how do we close the divide? We'll look at that and more when we come forward. You're invited in. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. We are unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
LA County's Justice Care and Opportunities Department, also known as JCOD, is changing the justice system for Angelenos. If you or someone you love has recently been arrested, come home from jail or prison, or has been justice involved, JCOD can help. We offer access to housing, employment, court reminders, clothing, education, and more. At JCOD, we believe your life should not be defined by your worst moment, and everyone deserves a second chance. JCOD's Justice Connect Support Center is open 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Call us at 833-LAC JCOD. That's 833-522-5263, or visit us at jcod.lacounty.gov. You can also find us on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and YouTube at LAC JCOD. All services are free and confidential. JCOD serves the justice-impacted population all across LA County. Your future isn't behind you, it's waiting. Reach out by calling 833-LAC JCOD. That's 833-522-5263, or visit jcod.lacounty.gov.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least liked to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where everybody is somebody and nobody is a stranger. You belong here.
Tim Kornegay is with me. He's Director of Operations for Los Angeles Urban Alchemy, and one of the main focuses of the organization is houselessness.
Yeah.
And we were talking off the mic. The houselessness situation in Los Angeles City and County is in disarray.
Yes.
The city-county joint organization, LASA, has been pretty much defunded, thanks to Lindsay Horvath and the Board of Supervisors deciding that they were going to take their money and go home, even though they still have say-so, and then the city doing some defunding as well at the behest of the LA County Board of Supervisors, the City Council. Then you have, well, what's happening now? Are we creating our own agency? They're creating their own agency. You've got a judge who's overseeing, supposedly holding the city accountable on behalf of the so-called LA Alliance for Human Rights, which is really just a bunch of downtown business owners who don't want people sleeping on their doorsteps. Their agenda is not helping people. Their agenda is making it look clean by any means necessary. There's an article today in the LA Times criticizing the city for trying to comply with the judge's order by simply removing tents and encampments and counting that as a success, even if those people do not get shelter. You made a really good point, is we have to change the delivery of service. But you've got thousands, tens of thousands of people still houseless. While the agencies are falling apart, the court is being manipulated by business owners, and none of these people the bottom line doesn't seem to be helping the unhoused.
I think that the agencies are having the challenges that they're having is because they haven't changed the way they deliver services. That if you are giving folks something that worked 50 years ago, chances are it's not going to work now. So you have to change. You have to think different. There's a reason why folks find themselves in that situation. You got fiscal challenges, which is money. That you may be relationship challenges after a divorce and you've lost everything, you're homeless. You may have lost your job. You might have some kind of psychological challenge. There are so many levels of it, but what's the foundation there is there's a brokenness that has to be healed. Folks
The drugs, too. Let's not leave that out.
Well, glad you caught that one. I missed that one. But yeah, drugs. Or recovering, or their families are becoming the biggest growing population. Individuals coming home are becoming like contributors to that population. And what we need is to see why are people finding themselves in those situations and trying to deal with it at its root cause. Like, how to get me healed. Don't get me in shelter and give me a sandwich and say, hey, you're okay now. Get me healed and give me the tools so I can lift myself up out of my circumstance.
Okay, you just described a whole bunch of different folks that probably have different needs. So what are we talking about in terms of changing delivery of service? I get you out of a tent and get you a sandwich. Some people need to be hospitalized. Real talk.
Eliminate the cookie cutter process and know that if you have mental health issues, they should not be addressed in the same way that somebody's recovering from a drug addiction.
Yeah, even though they could be both.
Or somebody who was doing well, their life fell in disarray and they find themselves unemployed and are sleeping in their car. All those things are different, but the way the system is set up, they're all dealt with the same way. And that has to be addressed. We have to look behind the curtain of the city challenges, the county challenges, the LASA challenges, the HOPIC challenges, and see what folks really need and like muscle up and be and deliver.
Is the big homeless.
It's another situation, but just look behind all that and say, hey, what can we do behind that? How can we literally meet people where they are? And one of the amazing things about UA is we can meet people literally where they are because somebody on our team has experienced something along those levels and can recognize that there may be a need that's invisible that somebody else is not seeing.
Okay, well that's good news. Again, why are so many of us, and right now I'm talking about melanated people, why are so many black people losing their minds right now? I never in my lifetime have seen so many of us over the edge, just gone. Is it the drugs? Is it the financial pressures? Is it, the time clock from when we were enslaved to now, just the alarm rang? Like, what is going on?
I think it's all of the above, and somewhere mentally something breaks and the door opens that allows folks to escape from life's challenges. Because if you can put
seemingly escape.
Yeah, seemingly escape. But if you find yourself in a situation where you're comfortable sleeping on the ground, something has broken inside you and you need a different level of help. And we need to be in a position to do that. What that is going to take all of us to define it. It's going to take all of us to create it. But we just can't be scared to look at folks, because a lot of us look at folks who are on the ground and not be infused with compassion. We're infused with disgust and fear that we never want to be in that position.
Well, I think both of those are true, but it's also true that because there's such a volume of people that are unhoused now, and there is a level of folks that are on drugs and or in severe mental health crisis, that it changes the narrative. I mean, it changes the interaction for the everyday citizen walking down the street, who's then threatened or attacked. You're going to be less empathetic. That's just the way the human nature.
Yeah, I do not disagree, but we still need mechanisms to help folks on every level. We have to try, and we have to get rid of the cookie cutter way of dealing with things, because that is not working.
Yeah, I mean, that is one of the biggest complaints that I've heard from unhoused people that call this show, is you go to an agency, and if you're not a drug addict or in need of mental health help, you get to the back of the line.
Yeah.
So that you're living in your car and you're actually pretty functional. We wait until you've fallen into drug use and mental health crisis, which most people would if they had no place to live long term.
Yeah.
And then we try to help you, instead of, it seems backwards. The people that just had a job 2 days ago that are living in their car, seems like they should be the priority. I don't know. Everyone should be the priority, but I think to your point, maybe there should be a different system.
Yeah, it has to be a different system of delivery.
Yeah.
And folks have to be humanity restoration. You have to give folks their humanity back, because it's surrendered or it's taken away when you find yourself sleeping on the sidewalk or sleeping in a tent. And you have to see people as human beings and recognize that they need a level of help that you may be able to give them, and not let your fears or anxiety prevent you from, and don't be afraid to take a sledgehammer to the system and say this.
Fears, anxiety, and I think there's impatience.
Yeah.
There's
of course,
fatigue with what's going on in our city.
Yeah. And there are a lot of us that feel the way you stated. Why in the what are so many people just going to sleep one day and the next day waking up sane? What has happened to our community, our world, where that is happening at such an alarming rate? And it's something that we need to be paying attention to, because it all has to be interrelated. When you have a 25-year-old kid that may be cool one day, and then the next day they just wake up and they're broken.
Yeah, Well,
yeah, so
that's
what?
a whole other show
What
for
is that?
Another day. But also we look at the rising rates of self-harm and suicide among black boys.
Come on now.
They have to be related because they all go in that mental health portfolio.
It has to be related.
Well, this sounds like a to-be-continued conversation.
Let's do it.
All right, Tim Kornegay. Great to see you. Congratulations on your new position. And you can find him at
Tim Kornegay at urban-alchemy.us. Tap in and let's make a difference.
News, traffic, and sports. And then we're going Wealth Building Wednesday on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Pompano Beach, Florida is honoring native and rapper Kodak Black with a key to the city. Mayor Rex Harden praised Kodak for giving back, donating air conditioning units, holiday turkeys, and paying rent for hundreds of families.
Your actions speak volumes about the kind of man you have become. You've shown us that giving back isn't about fanfare. It's about your heart.
Kodak says he's humbled by the honor. Crime Stoppers is offering a $10,000 reward after a deadly drive-by shooting outside Artist Lounge in Chicago's River North. 4 were killed and 14 wounded as crowds left rapper Mellow Bucks' album release party. Police say it was a targeted attack. And black former Dallas Cowboys tight end and civil rights advocate Pettis Norman has died at 86. Norman played 12 NFL seasons and served in the Texas National Guard. He later founded a group connecting CEOs with minority-owned business on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Rapid radios are instant